there's a lot of question about what the Braves fan wants. So I want to lay it out this way, because we're going to talk about the Yastrzemski signing, and every Braves fan's going to think it's not enough, and I want a big deal. Braves fans, what do you want? Like, what is your offseason is laid out X, Y, and Z. What are the X, Y, and Z? 404-231-1680, 404-231-1680. Because for me, you cannot ever expect this team, the way it's run, the way ownership is, the way AA is, to go out and get Kyle Tucker. You're not doing that. You're not getting Framber Valdez.
So you're talking about...
You're not doing that, Chris.
You're talking about history.
Talking about life, current.
The history of the Braves.
Back of the baseball card.
The history of the Braves, if you're asking for something that's not in your past, why are you asking for it now? Now, I can counter. The reason I'm asking for it now is you've got a business to run here, and it's bigger than just your baseball team. It is the Battery. It is enjoyment. It is social. It is everything else. So while I understand if you think that a $240 million guy is coming,
you're crazy.
History says no. If you think something bigger than that is coming, obviously, the answer is probably no. If you're thinking 150 or 60, that's what other people spend. The Cincinnati Reds might have been willing to do it. I certainly know the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah. The Pirates are willing to go over $100 million.
Yep.
Are you? Well, again, history would say no. I will tell you that it is not ... If you have a situation like last year in the record and you're trying to keep the enthusiasm in this building for this team, if you've created an environment of winning a World Series in 2021, while it was not a great team and it was not a team that ran roughshod over people, you found a way to win, got hot, you maneuvered. You had guys come in who were guys, but they were bigger than that in certain moments. That's how you win a World Series. Most of the time, I don't care if you're spending a lot of money or not so much money. That's usually how you go through the playoffs and win a World Series. I think the expectation now feels a little bit different because you lost Freddie Freeman. Not Dansby, not Max Fried, but you lost Freddie Freeman, and people will say that was a money deal. Since you lost Freddie Freeman, you haven't done as much. As a matter of fact, you've done less in the postseason. So my expectation, and I am a Braves fan, my expectation is how do you fix it? Well, maybe you have to diverge from the course that you've been on. Maybe you do have to do a bigger deal. That's not out of line. Now, if you're saying past dictates don't ever think that's going to happen with you, while I know it might not, it doesn't mean I'm not supposed to believe in the here and now. It's not supposed to. There's a big difference. If I've lived in Pittsburgh for the last X amount of years, if I was hoping for the 10-speed bike under the tree, the biggest toy of all, that was you were blanking into the wind. That's what you were doing. You were blanking into the wind. I don't think that's the case around here, nor should it be.
It's not.
I don't think you're allowed to tell a Braves fan, you're crazy if you think that's what you want, therefore you're out of line. You're not out of line. You're not out of line. Circumstances and situations change. The question really is, do you think it will happen? That's really different than what a Braves fans want or an expectation of how do you get back. It might be by signing the biggest swinging you-know-what that you can.
Well, two things. One thing, the difference is, the big difference, in Pittsburgh and in Baltimore, which we'll get to, you have to overpay. It's not matching even the money you normally don't spend. You have to then overpay and outbid just to get them to come to you instead of going to the Mets, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Dodgers, whomever else. In Atlanta, you don't have as much that problem because the Braves have been a really good franchise as of late, have been relevant, they're well run, and they just won a World Series a few years ago, and it's still a good roster, right?
Good, easy,
so you're not there.
Easy place to play with a chance to win.
Yes.
That matters.
Yes. Here's my point, though, that I was making is we all want the grand thing. The Braves roster, which was belittled and destroyed by injuries a year ago, right, was flawed. But it's not terrible. Mm-hmm. The work they have to do is there, but it's not massive. And you can do it with incrementally getting better in 3 or 4 different spots. They don't need to make the big splash.
But can I give you
get better.
Can I give you the fans' point of view?
Of course you can.
If you say you're going to be a top 5 payroll team, okay, that doesn't mean somebody's
and they pay the tax every year.
That doesn't mean somebody's taking your money. A free agent has a right to say no to you. You could attempt to be a top 5 payroll team. Their words, not mine. Mm-hmm. But somebody might say no to you. Well, did they say no because you wouldn't give opt-outs? Did they say no because you wouldn't defer, pay more but defer money? Whatever reason is, when people say no, then you sit around as a fan and you go, oh, I'm not telling you that would have won me a World Series, but it might have helped. And people don't want a price tag attached to that might help me win a World Series. That's all. And we are in a town where We're the only ones whose books are public. They make money. They know that. They know that we know that. I can win and I can live. You tell me $180 million, $200 million payroll, I'm never going to bang on a group that spends that kind of money or more. You spend more than $200 million, it's how you spent it and how lucky you get. If this team was spending $140 and I saw the books and it looks like they're making money, I go, no, out of line. If you're spending 200 plus, you're spending enough to win. How the cards get dealt, how the cookie crumbles, those are really different things. I don't have a problem with the amount in total they spend. But I also know that, speaking to a lot of people, whether it was frontline pitching, you need a pitcher, go buy the best one. Now, beware, the best one breaks down just like the one who's not the best one. But did you get in on it? That's not an unrealistic ask by a fan base. It's not. If you're saying it's unrealistic based upon the $22 million or $23 million, that's the most they want to pay a player, that's the new sentiment. The big story now is they don't want to pay anybody more than $23 million. Whatever. Is it an arbitrary number? Well, not really, because if it's the highest paid player, it's not really arbitrary. But that's the things that are being said.
Also the term, the amount of years, which they've never going all the way back to the Band-Aid deal for Josh Donaldson when they brought him here many years ago. They don't want to give a lot of years, and certainly not the pitchers. Well, understandably. And they're not the only team that, by the way, that's smart handling of a business.
I'm not going to bang on a fan base that says, you said top five. Well, how does it happen? Remember, people could say no to you. I don't need to be a top five payroll. That's not the end all for me. Like, I don't care.
You just want to win.
Yeah,
right?
And what it is you spend and where you rank with other people spending doesn't mean anything to me.
No.
Did you hire the right guys? Hire. That's called, did you buy the right guys? Did you draft the right guys? Did you promote them? Did you teach them in the minor leagues? I care much more about that than the big splash. But when you see what's happened with other organizations, now let me just give you a piece of information. Albert Pujols was a big splash. How did that go? Rendon, big splash. How did that go? I'm telling you that they don't work. I don't want it because I think it's going to work. I want it because does it make me feel like the team is a better team? There are a couple of guys like that. There are some that I could totally dismiss. I wouldn't pay $180 million for that guy, and I'll give you the list of guys. I wouldn't pay $140 for that guy. I wouldn't pay $240 for that guy. I have a list of those guys. It's not the amount. It's the which guy do I think is the fit that makes me a better team. That's all I care about.
That's fair. Yastrzemski, a few things, and these are positive things. First of all,
of the names left, let me ask you, the names left, if you did an informal poll of Braves fans, real Braves fans, like people who emotionally invested in this team, and they're happy about the 2021, not happy over the last couple of years, but they're not ripping everybody. They're not saying this is the stupidest organization. This is not that guy, not that woman. Give me somebody who we would just put reasonable. What do you think is left, whether it's a trade, but certainly a free agent signing, that you think most Braves fans want?
If I were the Braves, I'd be looking at Valdez, Bichette. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's going to cost you money.
But I think both those players are fit and could help. Yes.
And I would have thought Alonso or Schwarber would have been a fit.
No, you're not wrong. They're not there.
But they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. You're not wrong. Yeah. They need I would like a starter who can give me the guarantee as much as I can get it of consistent innings and sustainability where I'm not worried about injuries. And Valdez has posted every 5 days, puts up good numbers.
Dylan C, 7-2-10 gave you an idea of what the longer-term version of that is.
No, I agree.
Are they willing to do it? I don't know.
No.
Are there Braves fans who say, well, I won't say never, but they haven't. They haven't. Like Lucas Giolito is not that.
No.
Justin Verlander on a 1 year is not that.
No.
Trading for Brendan Donovan and doing a deal with Sean Murphy and Ozzie and a young pitcher to clear up second base, or Ketel Marte, who maybe can play shortstop.
You're going to have to give up too much for him, Marte.
Well, I'd like to think that there's no such thing. Well, giving up too much.
It depends who the player is. I think, is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't. If adding Ketel Marte, are you a World Series team next year?
I know how you live. Prospects for parades is something that I live in that world.
Yes.
So I don't know what too much is. I don't know the Braves minor league system. I don't know who's good and who's not. But I don't like to hear that's too much to give up, because I'm not, while I have to be concerned about it in the future, I'm going to speak like a dirty, filthy American fan.
Please do.
I don't care about that right now.
No, and that's why you shouldn't. You should care about the parades, the winning. Yastrzemski not going to help get you one of those by himself. But look, he's a nice little player. He's a good offensive player. He had about a year where he was down, but last year when he went to Kansas City, he found himself again at 9 home runs in 50 games, walked more than he struck out.
He hit 1 home run to the opposite field. This is the idea of what will he do as a left-handed hitter in this ballpark.
Right.
It's going to be better.
Correct.
It's a much more home run-friendly ballpark here.
Yes.
I like this. If you're going to tell me this is how you're going to do the DH, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or part of it, because you can rove around. I'd like to get Acuna off his legs, too.
No, that's what I mean. You're rotating.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. You got Acuna, you got Profar. I mean, you've got Harris. Now you've got Yastrzemski.
And Baldwin.
And Baldwin. And look, depth has been a big issue in the outfield because we saw Jared Kelenic go from, we don't need him anymore, and that's great, to all of a sudden they needed him, right? I mean, we've seen this situation where we need extra outfielders.
But that turned into a miserable fail.
Of course it does.
Eli White has a skill set.
Yes, he does.
But I don't think Eli White is ever supposed to have a bat in his hand 4 times as a DH.
And he'll get exposed.
Yeah, he's not supposed to have a bat in his hand for any long period of time as a DH.
Yep. Yastrzemski gets $9 million in 2026, $10 million in 2027. Option in 2028 is for $7 million with a buyout for $4 million. And that's the best part, because when people leave winter meetings, and it's been this way for years, it's gotten worse because less deals occur. But fans then say, okay, winter meetings is over, and they handle it. We were just talking about this before the show, but they handle it like fans of the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, thinking that's your frenzy, right? Now it's over. This is what we got. That is far from accurate. This is just the beginning.
We don't have a 12:01.
Just the beginning.
We don't have a 12:01.
That is correct.
When the gates open up, like nobody could have ever figured out, how does that guy have a deal? It's 12:02 on the first day. Well, because everything is being done. Baseball doesn't have a 12:01.
No moratoriums.
And they don't have a 12:01. Here are the deals.
Mm-hmm.
Those other sports do.
Yep.
Those other sports also have caps. There's other things that you have to play with, and it's called a salary cap. Here, it's stretched out over a longer period of time. But if you're really asking Braves fans, particular player, I would agree. Framber Valdez is his name that's going to come up. Bichette is the name that's going to come up. You're probably bidding against multiple others. And is there a number which you bail out? There was a number with Dansby. There was a number with Freddie. There was a number with Max Fried. Yeah, this team has had a number, and then they pull. They get out.
I like what they did. It's a start. Iglesias comes back. You get Yastrzemski. Now you continue to work. I don't think, to your point, the top names will be there, but I don't think they need to be. I think people forget. You go back to, as bad as the season was last year, you go back to the Mets series in June, where they were right on the edge of a sweep, which they ended up completing. And Sale is a couple of outs or a decision to take him out of the game away from not being injured and on a high, had pitched brilliantly for several weeks, and you're 4 or 5 games, you're right there. That team had a chance to even make the playoffs or at least be relevant in September in a season they had no business being. It tells you the roster is better than people, I think, are giving it credit for. There's less work to do than people think. There's work to do, but it's not a massive amount. The Braves are a relevant roster now. They need to tweak things to put themselves in better position.
Yes, and if you would ask people, hey, how do I actually pound something in? Well, if it only costs me cash and free agency, then that's not unreasonable for a fan base.
It's not. But it's not going to happen at the highest level, likely.